Rochester, Minnesota. I'm trying to find what I would class as going to be a pretty good way to go. I'm two minds about which way I go, because we've got two routes. Looking at them at the moment, making sure that I believe I can go down them. I don't want to get involved in any low bridges or anything. When I looked on the map, I believe I can go that way. Puts me down there to 61 and 42, and then it's got me going on a county road. I might be better off dropping all the way down to 14 and then running the county road into Rochester. The road into Rochester. I'm going to look at my map, but I dropped my. Do it again. Dropped all my paperwork because yeah, that's marked. Yeah, sure did. I put everything in my map book, so. Good old Mark. It's got stuff everywhere. Alright, let's get my map book out. They can keep ringing. Minnesota. I think Wisconsin all right. Alright, let's see. Okay, so it's got me coming down on 37. Majority of it's in Wisconsin. So there's Highway 42 that leads me down to 14. Okay, so let's check and make sure that we're alright in Minnesota for no low bridges, and then we'll check Wisconsin and make sure that I'm good to run that road. Minnesota 42's not on the map. It's not a restricted. No, hang on. No. Be fun in the snow and empty. It's always fun in the snow and empty. So, see, I could run 93 all the way down and then across to 43. That's 123 miles, or I can go down 85 to 25, or 37 to 85 to 25. To 61 to 42. Alright, we'll try that way. It's going to be fun, but we'll try it. Mark don't care. Mark don't care. reefer running to -10. Let's go down and see the amazing people and see how the weather does for us, shall we? Need me chocolate biscuits in a minute. That's right, that I will. Oh. Better put the paperwork away first before I completely lose my mind. I'll put it back into New York City. There we go. You won't hear me because I'm leaning over the other side of the steering wheel. Alright, let's go to work, see what we can do. Okay. I'll do it in a minute. And two boys, I'm not sure, I think they're grain haulers. Talking on the CB. I think they're grain haulers. So this load I'm supposed to, they haven't called me, so I just assume that everybody knows what's going on, but I'll be there for whatever time I get there, which is like pretty much nearly midday, noon, 12 o'clock. Phone alone. It looks straight enough to me, sort of. I keep looking at it, don't look straight, but it actually is straight, so I'll just leave it alone because otherwise Mark will ruin it. I'll do my logbook in a minute. It doesn't flick itself over. Stop when there's no one around. It's not really much point. Doesn't really make any sense. This one I will though. Alright, Mark, let's do your logbook. Driving, okay. Let's go wobble wobble. Well, I hope they're a better quality at the moment. I mean, they're never going to be great because it's only off the phone, but I hope it's not got so much wobble in it anymore. I know when it picks up the indentations in my window, I know it makes, and you can see it wobbling and that, but I've probably told you that 20 million times because I repeat myself so much. Good morning from me. That's right. Putting the gear, Mark. Spin the wheels, Mark. I don't like being empty. I don't mind, but it's not so much fun when you're empty. Things can go waywards. But if in doubt, flat out. That's what Colin McRae used to say. If in doubt, flat out. And that's what I do. Last night, because I asked the question the other day and I didn't really know who sort of watches my videos and that. I mean, I got 41 subscribers on there, which I actually think is pretty awesome. I never really did intend anybody to watch them but my mum and dad. Anybody else that does, I always appreciate the fact you do, because I know they're pretty boring. I mean, I like watching videos like this, I do. You know, I watch other people's videos in different countries like Norway and that, you know, and even South Africa of driving. I like to do that. I find it entertaining. It's a totally different world when you watch somebody else. And most of my watch are pretty good people. And so, I know I've got 41 subscribers now, which jumped up. I don't personally know how many actually do watch them. I don't think there's as many. same, so we decided to go down this route of YouTube, and I'm sure there's a way I could change it to settings and make it so they can only see them, but I never wanted to do that. I thought if somebody else was entertained by it, all well and good. So I am always grateful to everybody that watches them, and I'm also grateful to everybody that subscribes to it. I find sometimes I get a little carried away. I know I do, that's me. I know my mistakes, I'll admit to them. I do make them, I ain't perfect. I pick on other people, I know I do. Because sometimes I don't understand their logic and it doesn't compute in my head. And if it doesn't make sense to me, it irritates me. I'm not very well educated. I've had to educate myself through life, and this is my story. I'm just trying to explain it if anybody's listening. I'm not educated. It's hard enough for me to write to somebody because I don't know where to put all your exclamations and your commas and whatever other stuff they put, because to me it makes no sense, because I can read it perfectly fine without all that stuff. I don't know what it means, but I can't really write very well. I know how to write, I just don't know how to break it up the way you're supposed to and put breaks in there, so I've never been very good at that. So yeah, Mike 1500, he wrote to me last night and he's pretty awesome. I like the character. He's a geezer, but he's nice and he's never said anything nasty, and he's wrote a few times to me. So he asked me some questions last night and I wrote back to him and explained. And the one thing I will say is to most people is that I actually do love being in the United States of America, and I love my job of driving around. I thoroughly enjoy it. At times it probably doesn't sound like it, and that's not the job itself really, it's just what's around me at times. I like to just get on and do the job and get it done. I don't like to mess around. So I find that when I'm on a mission, which most of the time since I switched from pulling a drive into a reefer or a fridge trailer, whichever part of the world you're from, it's become more challenging because I have to chase my tail for absolutely no reason whatsoever. The electronic log made a difference. It's not as easy as it used to be. You do have to get on a little more than you used to, but I always used to get on before anyway. So I do love it here, yeah. I miss my country, I miss my family. I get to talk to my mum and dad as much as I can by video chat during the week and weekends as well if I'm around. If I go home, they are kind enough to allow me that time at home. I still write to them if I can, but they give me my time at home with my wife and my daughter. But I do miss them. My dad and my mum are both my heroes and always will be. They're absolutely amazing. No one will ever change that. My dad, for what he taught me, how he taught me, his whole attitude towards the job. I learned so much from him when I was a kid. He was, my dad was actually a farmhand when he started. Pretty much run the farm when he was young, just before I was born. So my dad was actually a farmer, and that's really what I wanted to do when I was growing up. He wasn't, when I was around growing up, my dad was a truck driver, but prior to that he was a farmer, and that was my goal, was to go into farming, because I just love outdoors, and I just love being the ability to be free done 93, that'll run me all the way down, which I probably should do, but we're going to go this way because it looks more entertaining and it's going to be fun. So yeah, I wanted to be a farmer like my dad, but then farming changed so much as I got older. So around 80, I think like 86, 85, 86 when I left school, I think it was, because I'm nearly 50 now, I'll be 50 this year. When I left school, and that it changed so much that it wasn't the same. And my next route was to follow my father's footsteps, and I was already following him anyway because he would teach me so much. And back in England they call it roping and sheeting. I can go. Oh, I knew as soon as I went he was going to come. Yes, sorry, I hope you're trying to keep up with me. I know my mum and dad will. I'm just trying to explain it for anybody else that's listening. Part of it anyway. So my dad, yeah, and we call it roping and sheeting back at home. They call it tarping over here in Canada, but we call it rope and sheeting. So my dad taught me how to do that, taught me how to do a dolly, taught me how to chain. And then we had tilt trailers, which is a canvas over a metal frame. Taught me how to strip a tilt out. I mean, he'll always be my hero for that because he taught me everything I needed to know. So when it became the time for me to drive truck at 21 years of age, I already had the ability to understand and knew what I was doing, which is why I love the job so much. I'll never change my job. I'd like to get away from it just because of how insane it is on the road, but truthfully I never will because I love it too much. Having to work all the time, so you know it's a hard job being a mother. There was five of us in the family. It was me, 3 brothers and my sister. So there was 5 of us total that my mum looked after while my dad was away on the road. And every opportunity I got, I used to go with my dad. And yes, I used to skive off school because I hated school. I had no interest in it because I knew what I wanted to do, and I don't really like the word wanted, but I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in farming or I wanted to drive truck, and school had no interest to me. I had no enjoyment there. So yeah, my mum yet again is my other hero on the other side because she just took care of us all in many aspects. And I had an amazing childhood. I'll never knock my childhood. I had 2 great role models, taught me so much. You know, I had my moments. I can't really remember too much. My parents know more than I do. But I had my moments. I'm sure I did like everybody else does. And so I grew up, came 21, got my licence, did agency work for a bit because I couldn't get insured by the company my dad was working for. Agencies could insure me. I went around just working for builders merchants and running a sewerage truck. I worked for what they call the council. Is it this road? No, not this one. My bad. It's the next one. I run for the council, which is like your states. I don't quite know what they call them over here, but our councils. I run a little glass truck for a while on the agency and that. And then I had the ability to get on. The insurance companies would accept me, and I went pulling trailers. pulling tilt trailers and taut liners, curtain side as they call them in America. So I went and pulled them with my dad on the same company and that. And then I had the opportunity to go over to Europe. So I went over to Europe and drove truck over there. My first trip out was just around in France and that. And then I did a little bit down into Italy to start with, down into Spain, and it sort of progressed on from there, and then I just went all over the place. And I met so many good people. I had so much fun. I'll never forget how much fun I had. But I was single, and I stayed single until I came to America. I think I was like 32, 33 when I come to America. So I was single all that time. I never got involved with anybody. I didn't want to because I just enjoyed the job. So I did that for a long time, and then I got involved with another friend of mine. He was driving for a company that was pulling what you call end dumps in America. We call them bulkers, tippers. And I got involved in that, and then I was running that overseas and back again. And then I met a girl from Australia. She was on I can't remember what it was, like a work relief or whatever it was, or she was just part of a church or something. I can't quite remember how it worked. But she was working at the grain bins when I was harvesting, because we used to work like 2 to 3 months in a year of harvest, and then just in England, like running around local, and then we go back overseas again. And I had the opportunity to go back with her to meet her family and see Australia. I went out to a place called Beverley, which is north of Perth in Western Australia. And I went out there and had the time of my life, thoroughly enjoyed it. Read in the paper that they were looking for custom harvesters in America. I filled out the application, which is why I sound like an Australian sometimes, because I was over there for 6 months and I picked up their accent, and then I worked with them when we came to America. But I filled out the application and that, didn't take much notice. Flew back home to England. Was just going to go back to, well, I actually didn't know what I was going to do because I got myself in a bit of a tears. I'm good at doing that. And but I went back from my old company, because he was just David Eady was his name. Company was Tipro. He worked for Tipro to start with. Then he started his own company called Avalon European. And that yet again, David Eady, what an amazing person. Another one of my heroes. Just absolutely, I've never found anybody like him again to work for. Just an amazing person. Just knew how to treat people right, knew how to pay you properly, never questioned what you did, always looked after you, went out of his way to always make sure you were treated with respect. Even when I was naughty a few times and that, I got banned from a couple of places because I do have a bit of an attitude at times, it shows. But he just always stuck up for me and never let it go. And I always gave him back the work ethic because he looked after me. So I came home and I was going to go back. I did go back work for him, me and my dad did. We did a little bit. And then I got a phone call that asked if I wanted to come to America and work custom harvesting. I filled out the forms. I went to the US Embassy in London. I told them what I wanted to do. They said, that's awesome. They stamped my papers and I flew out within a week or so. And I arrived, I think it was May. Was it March? I think it was May. The truth, I can't bloody remember now if it was March the 17th or May the 17th. My mum would know, she'll tell me. And I flew over and I landed. And I went to Monte Vista in the Valley of Colorado, up north of, south of Denver, Alamosa, around that area. And I went there and we custom harvest for, I think it was close to 9 months. Yeah, about that, 7 months, something like that. We worked right till the end of the year. We was going to stay with him. He was alright, he was a funny old liked him. He was a crook, but I liked him. And I was going to stay there working, and we had issues with our visas. So I had a friend that was working at Western Express out of Tennessee, and I went to Western Express. They were worthless. Just, don't even go there. Worthless people. And I had a friend that was working in Ankeny, Iowa, he knew of I had a friend that knew somebody else that I knew that was been working on the harvest with us, and they'd gone to Ankeny, Iowa to work for a trucking company. So he put me in touch with him and the company, and I said, all right, I'll do it. I went up there and I started running flatbed, and I went back into pulling flatbed and that. So I got to concentrate a little bit. So I'm trying to explain it. I did write and explain it, but I'll also explain it by voice as well. I think you can hear me. If you can't, oh well, sorry. Oops, here's what it is. So I went to Ankeny, Iowa, and that's where I started trucking. And I stayed there. I was there from 2004. I think I got there around February, just before Valentine's Day. And I stayed there ever since in Iowa. I like Iowa. I like the Midwest. Weather is what it is. You put up with it. You know what you got to deal with. I always try my best to avoid it. I always watch the weather, and I always try and get the pay me loads that I can get away from it, because the more I can use it, so I don't disagree with what goes on down there. I'm trying to put a slow down on it, trying to make them do it the right way, come through the proper borders like they should, as they should. I'm not against that. I understand the reasons for it. Like I said, I've seen it. I understand what it's about, and I do. I lost 2 good people when I was in Europe. Right there in Calais, they got knifed by people because they were desperate to come over, because those people, the 2 friends that I had, refused to help them. They got their lives taken away for that. So you can have an open border, but the problem with having an open border is, back in my day when I was still at home, when they had an open border and they were told they were welcome to come to England, it gave the ability for everybody just to make that mad rush. And then it became that they didn't know what to do when they came over, because it's a different culture. So I don't oppose it, but it does have to be controlled. Don't ask me how the hell I got onto that subject, but I did. Because my memory brings up things, what I remember and how I see things, and how I know what it was like, and I see it down there. I actually have no problem going to Laredo or McAllen. I actually really like the people down there, and they are all Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever you want to call them. They're just awesome. Never have an issue. They treat you with respect. Barrier language is a little awkward. I'm lazy and don't learn Spanish, and I should, but unless I'm going to start going down there on a consistent basis, that I really need to learn it, I'm still going to be lazy and not. I should though, because it will start turning in this country. So, as I say, it's my opinion. I'm not against it. I just think that people have to have a better understanding of what they're talking about. When you throw your arms up in the air and say it's inhumane and that, I understand that, I get it, I'm not against it. But you've really got to understand, if you have an open border, you will allow no matter what to come into the country, and it doesn't matter who, why, when or where, it will overcome you. And we saw that in England. My parents will, and a few other people that I talk to occasionally will vouch for that. It became too much for us, and it overcrowded us in England. They just said that our job records have gone through the roof in England, and it's amazing, and unemployment's at a low and employment's at a high, but you don't really know what they're talking about. It's just statistics. It's just what they tell you, so you don't get to see that. So I lost track a little bit, but there you go. That's Mark. Oh, that's Mark. So yeah, I got married, got my daughter, an amazing wife and child. I miss them like that. I love my job. If I could change things, I would. But I know it would never be the same for me if I did that. Am I selfish? Probably a little bit. I love being at home with my family when I go home. If I was home all the time, I don't know if they would accept that or not. It's been a long time, but I haven't been around them all the time. I think eventually we would. But my wife, she's very independent. She's okay to look after herself. She does a great job. My daughter's just my daughter. She's just growing up. But she has an amazing ability to be able to fend for herself. So I'm never worried that they can always look after themselves. If anything gets too serious, I go home and fix it for them. But for the majority, my wife can do it. She's pretty awesome. She is actually another one of my heroes. promotions. So off we went and found out it wasn't quite true. You were making that much money to the truck, you just weren't taking it home. But it's okay, I've learned over the years, and I've learned so much since 2010. That's 8 coming on 9 years, it'll be 9 years. I believe, yeah, because I started in September into October, I believe it was, of 2010. So it's been coming up to 9 years that I've been a lease operator. I would go out on my own, but I promise you it's not worth it. It's not the same anymore. You're going to have, insurance is going to go through the roof when you first start up. It could be anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 when you first start up. You might be lucky and only get away with it being $7,000 or $8,000, but it's becoming more expensive for all your insurance. Then you got to buy your own fuel. You got to find the brokers that'll work with you. Most of them won't work with you when you're a startup. You might be lucky and keep in contact with a few that know you from old to build your status up, but you got to have a good. They say 90 days, 3 months, but I still say it's a year. Most people I've talked to said it's a year to build yourself up before you start getting good rates. And then you've got to work at it. I probably should do it, but the truth is, I'm a little scared about doing it because I don't want to fall into the trap of killing myself. So I'm lazy in that respect, and I stay with somebody. Some are good, some are bad. I've had my moments. I've left companies because I got frustrated. More so because I get a little childish at times, so I think that they should do as I tell, but you have to remember they don't always do that. I've grown up in 9 years of doing this, I've grown up to understand that it's not always going to be your way. Like right now I'm doing, well, that load I did out of North Carolina to Eau Claire, Wisconsin there, Cherryville to Eau Claire, it only paid $1,500, it weren't worth my time, it was half a load, I didn't have any weight on, but it still weren't worth my time. I don't want to run for anything less than $2 a mile, I shouldn't run for anything less than $2 a mile, but the boys I work with here, they don't care, and they really don't care, I promise you they don't, they have no interest, they're too busy they say, so they just find whatever they can, it gets me back up here so I can pull their freight again. They don't actually take into account what I need to have done and what I need to make, so I don't class myself as a lease operator here, I just class myself as a company driver who gets paid like it. So it's not great here, but I'll find a way to get around it. I had my hood wrecked back at the end of November into December. I had my hood wrecked, I had a truck cut it, still waiting on the insurance to sort it out so I can get it fixed. Now, that's another story that's going on at the moment. Once I get my hood fixed, I consider moving on somewhere else and find somebody that I like working for. I want to go back flatbedding, don't know if I really will, but I do love flatbedding. I like working. So, if you've got this far in the story, you've listened this far, and I really hope I ain't bored the crap out of you, and you get an understanding of what I'm talking about, and it sort of gives you an insight as to what I've been doing as to where I'm at. I don't always like to talk, I don't mind talking, but not all the time. So I draw some tractors. I love the view, and I love what I see around me, and I love everything I get to see, and I love looking around, and the ability to drive a truck, supposedly make money, and see things around you, and eventually when I ever do give up, which I probably won't, if I do give it up, and I have the ability to tour, there's so many places in America that I want to go and visit, and I've seen in my journeys, which I just think are freaking awesome. So, as they say in England, a big shout out to Terry Friend. You're an amazing person, thank you for your comments yesterday. I'm glad you like the view. Mike 1500, I like you too, mate. You're an awesome person. I have no idea who the pair of you are, I still like you. And to everybody else that watches them, I always appreciate it. Now I've said so much, I've spoke so much, I hope it makes point of what I've been trying to say. You can understand what I've been saying, I hope you can. And to my parents, I'll always love you. You know damn well I will. That'll never change. You are and always will be my heroes. So to everybody out there, much love. I'm going to end this video and then I'm going to carry on recording the rest of the journey. Alright, laters, love you.